Suzannah, for those of you that don't remember. And I'd like to start off my presentation today by showing you this image. And this image is an advertisement, and I would like to know if you guys have any thoughts of what this could be advertising. Just any thoughts at all? Shoes, okay. Anything else?
Cologne.
Lingerie. Cologne, lingerie, okay. This, and I've taken off all the slogans and stuff. So this is the ad, and this ad is for organ donation. And the tagline is, becoming a donor is probably your only chance to get inside her. And then at the bottom it has like all the information about the organization that does this organ donation. But I wanted to show that to you today, and I want you to keep it in mind as I keep on talking, because that is going to play into what I speak on a little bit later. And the topic I want to discuss with you all today is why there's a lack of women in leadership roles. And this is a global phenomenon, but I'm going to focus specifically on women in the United States. And so in light of that topic, I'm going to touch on three main points today. The first is the way we view women. The second is the way we view men. And the third is the impact those views have on those who reach leadership positions. And before I begin, I want to put a statement out there that I'd like you all to consider as I keep on speaking, and that statement is this. Sex and gender are two different things. Sex is biological, gender is a social construct. So my first point is, how do we see women? And I have some terms I want to give out or throw out to you guys that I think do a good job of categorizing specifically women and that we use a lot today. So these are the terms: ditzy, complicated, hormonal, a bitch, sultry, soft-spoken, soccer mom, ravishing, meek and mild, emotional, a slut. And to that point, I want to talk about two different gender roles that women are often put into. The first is the role of a housewife. So this is the idea that a woman needs to be in the home. She should be the primary caregiver for children. She should have dinner on the table for her husband when he comes home at 6:30 or 7, whenever he comes home. And the second role is very different. This is the idea as a woman as a sexual object. And this plays into the advertisement that I showed you at the very beginning. This is the idea that you honestly can look anywhere in the media, open a magazine, you will see this stereotype everywhere. And this, a lot of times, gives women the idea that using sex to gain what you want is a form of power. So my first point was the way we view women, and my second point is how do we view men? And I also have some terms that I think are used most often to describe men that I want to share with you. And these are the terms: unemotional, protector, handsome, hardworking, cocky, charming, arrogant, aggressive, violent, a player, a boss, and powerful. The way men are stereotyped into gender roles is usually the opposite of the way women are stereotyped. So some examples would be men as being aggressive in business and in life, men as being more likely to be violent or physical, men as the ones that should be the primary breadwinners in a family unit, men as natural-born leaders, and you can think of terms like man of the house or father knows best that kind of give an idea to positions of leadership that are automatically attributed to being a man's place. So my second point was, how do we view men? And my third point is, how do these ideas of gender roles translate into those who achieve positions of leadership? And I think the best way to do this is to give you guys some examples. So there's a book called Lean In, Women, Work, and the Will to Lead. And in that book, it talks about how in elementary school, boys are more likely than girls to want to be president. In middle school, boys are more likely to aspire to leadership positions in future careers than girls are. And out of the top 50 colleges, less than 1/3 of student government presidents are female. Another example is a 2012 McKinsey survey that surveyed more than 4,000 employees from leading companies, and it found that 36% of men aspired to reach the C-suite or corporate positions, and only 18% of women aspired to do the same thing. This is a really interesting one. There was a survey done in 2003 by Columbia University, and it presented two different groups of people with a business person. This business person was a woman, but in one group she was given her own name, and in another group she was given a man's name. And the only difference the two groups found was that the woman was very unlikable, and the man was very likable. You'd want to work for the man. The woman just kind of seemed cold, probably ruthless, and she wasn't very likable, but the man was very likable. And so I want to also give you guys some statistics because, as they say, numbers don't lie. So According to the Center for Women and Politics, this year, 2014, women make up 51% of the population. So this year, women make up only 18% of Congress, women make up only 20% of the Senate, women make up only 18.2% of the House of Representatives, and as you all probably know, we've never had a female president. According to a Catalyst survey that was done in 2013 of the Fortune 500 companies, women occupied only 14.6% of executive positions. And women also only made up 8.1% of the highest paid executive jobs. So what does this mean? This means basically that although we don't live in a society any longer where we are hunter-gatherers, so hierarchy isn't determined off of physical strength and it's not determined off of who can go out and kill dinner, basically. We are still living in a world where leadership positions are created and reinforced by cultural norms and what we consider to be normal within our culture, so gender roles. To summarize, I had 3 points today. The first was the way we view women, the second was the way we view men, and the third was how these affect people reaching leadership positions. And there's a quote that says, "You cannot be what you cannot see." And I want to leave you with that because I think that's very true in a sense, but coming away from this, I want to encourage you all to be willing to see beyond a person's gender and to be willing to admit that sometimes, based off of capabilities, talents, skills, a man might be better suited to be a stay-at-home father, and a woman might be better suited to be in a corporate position. And I want to encourage you to judge someone's capabilities and judge the role a person should fulfill based off of their capabilities and not off of their gender.